It ain't private again, is it?
What's going on, good people? What's going on, good people? Boy, we got a three-headed monster here tonight. Boy, come on, come on, come on. What's going on, fellas?
Checking my eyes over here, making sure they're not
What's
deceiving me.
happening? What's happening? What's
Come
happening,
on, man.
y'all?
Polo in the building.
Hey,
Yeah,
Polo
man.
in the building.
finally was able to escape for a good hour. But we gonna make it do what it do.
Yeah.
Gonna make it do
We
what it
gonna
do.
hold it. We gonna hold it to an hour, maybe hour 15 tonight, people. We went way over last week, so we gonna get back on the program and we gonna try and keep it to an hour. So in us doing that, we gonna go ahead and jump right into this thing. We're gonna
Drop your
introduce
questions.
what we gonna talk about tonight. So as Turf just said, if you got any questions, make sure you go ahead and drop them over there in the chat. We will be answering those questions live, and make sure we get you the answers and the information that you are looking for. So tonight we are going to be talking about weed cleanup in your lawns. So right now, in certain areas, especially lower transition zone and south, y'all are starting to get going. Like I'm starting to see people get their first cuts and stuff on. I'm starting to see people get out there. The winter lawns are greening up, and this is the perfect time for you to understand how to clean up those weeds. So tonight we got somebody that can talk cool season with Polo and I. We can talk cool season, and we got somebody that can talk warm season grass with Turf, because Turf been doing some cleanups here lately. Um, Myself, I also got some experience with some warm season cleanup. So we can jump into that and talk about what you should be doing for either grass type, either warm season or cool season. and give you the information, recommend you some products and things. So if you have a specific weed, we may not know all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. If there's a specific weed that you're dealing with or having some troubles with, just drop it in here and we'll get you the best information that we can get at the time being. And if not, we can follow up, shoot us a comment, and then we can get that answer for you. All right. So let's do weather talk. Weather talk. What you looking like? We're gonna start with Polo. Polo been absent, so we're gonna put him on the stage up front, right up front, off gate. Get my man the mic. Hey man, give us that weather talk, man. What y'all got going down there in the Ville?
Shoot, we got a little bit of everything. If you know anything about the Ville, you can experience all four seasons in the same week. So this morning it was snowing. It was snowing. Then it was
It was
sleeting.
snowing.
It was snowing, Jack. It was snowing. It was snowing this morning. Then it started sleeting. Then it started raining. And then around like 3, 4 p.m., the sun is out, and the sun is doing what I love for it to be doing right about now, meaning 6:40. That's when it's just starting to get dark. Don't forget what was it next Sunday when you got a spring forward. I think is it next Sunday. I think, but
Yeah.
this weekend we're supposed to be jumping into the 60s, and then we're gonna jump back down. So we're on our little roller coaster ride right about now as far as for the temperatures. We did get a fake spring just like everybody else, and then we dip back down to where the highs was like in the 30s. So we've been kind of hanging around there a little bit, but our weather patterns are so different. It's like it snowed here up there in Baltimore. Probably didn't what probably sunny skies up there. Sunny,
No, it was
sunny.
it was a little over. It was a little overcast today. A little chilly, little overcast today. A little
Yeah,
chilly overcast.
yeah. So I mean, we didn't experience snow, sleet, rain, sunshine all in the same day. So we all over the place right now, man. We all over the place.
Bet. Turf, what you dealing with down there in South Kakalaki? What y'all looking like?
We wearing shorts and riding motorcycles, man. We cool. You know, hey, we cool, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's gonna be beautiful for the next what, like 3 months, 4 months, and it's gonna get ridiculously hot, and that's the price to pay. But right now, while they're getting snow in Louisville, we're riding around doing the kick slide. We doing the kick slide on skateboards. We got longboards out right now. It rained a lot today. Like so, it rained a lot today, but and it got cold for a little bit for a couple days. But them trends, we going to the moon, baby. We going to the moon.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we are, like I said briefly. Today was kind of overcast, little drizzle. Supposed to be getting some more rain coming in here tonight. But tomorrow is supposed to be 51 and sunny. Saturday is supposed to be 61 and sunny. And then it's supposed to snow Sunday night going into Monday. And Sunday night going into Monday.
Y'all
So,
need to move, man.
then it's about to snow. Then it's about to
Oh my
snow Sunday
snow
night going
parts,
into
man.
Monday. Yeah. So shoot, man, we got like 2 inches. We got like 2 inches of snow last Sunday. Like so last Sunday we got like 2 inches of snow. They closed daycare for no freaking reason. Shoot, there was I call it one of them North Carolina snows where it snow and by mid afternoon it's all gone. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It was one of them. It was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, man, that's kind of what we're looking like for weather talk. Like overall, like as you can see, the weather patterns are up and down right now, and that's kind of across the board. No matter where your location is right now, unless you're just in one of those consistent climates, far south or something like that. It's that time of year where the weather pattern just you kind of yo-yo and roller coaster a little bit, but We've already talked about the pre-emergent talk. We had a good talk about that last weekend or last week. So just keep an eye on that. And I actually dropped a video talking about pre-emergent. So
Banger.
you can go ahead and check that one out and get that information from what we talked about in long form in a little quicker form that you can get all the information that you needed for that one. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into the main topic for tonight: weeds. Weeds is one of them things that, especially people that's new to lawn care, really struggle with. As in, hey, this is the first thing that I want to take care of. What do I do about these weeds? And this is a topic that wanted to go ahead and get it out there as temperatures are starting to warm up in certain areas. So let's start with winter weeds, fall weeds versus your spring, summer type weeds. When you're trying to address them, how do you address like a fall, say, poa annua, right? Somebody dealing with poa right now in their lawn. How could they have prevented it or at least reduced it? And what do they do about like those fall type weeds right now? I'm gonna toss that one to you, Turf, from a warm season perspective.
Okay, yeah. From a warm season perspective, you could have prevented it last year if you
Mm-hmm.
had got a pre-emergent down. But if you were in a position like me, which I need to do a video to show people what that looks like so you're not panicking because I already sprayed it. But my backyard looks like a cabbage field right now. But that's because I opted to forego the pre-emergent to allow those roots to get as established as possible, knowing that I would be able to clean it up this time of year and then get a pre-emergent down, which is exactly what I did. So if you were in a position where you couldn't do that, that's okay. Now you can. But the pre-emergent that I put down was to prevent what we're about to see, the spring and summer weeds. So I hit it with a post emergent and a pre emergent, and if you roll your tank properly, you can go out with that all at the same time. And then once it gets its contact time with the plant, usually it's 6 to 8 hours. Sometimes it's as short as 4 hours, and it's rain safe. Then you water that in 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, and now your pre-emergent is activated. That's if you're using dispersible granules, wettable dispersible granules. So that's what things look like right now. Everyone has henbit,
Mm-hmm.
creeping Charlie, clover. One popular one that seems to be stumping everyone out here, Florida Bethany. First time I really seen it, being in this area, but people don't know how to take care of it, so gives me a nice little edge because I don't figured it out. So, um, and a lot of poa, and
That's kind of
right
why
now
I
I
started
recommend,
with that one. I figured that was gonna be a hot topic
yeah,
with that poa.
yeah, a lot of poa, and if you have a centipede lawn, the other centipede, yeah, if you have a centipede yard, this is a really good time to go out there with aggressive post-emergent herbicides while it's still asleep
Was dormant.
because it won't care. Right. While it's still dormant, you can go out there with something like Celsius Extra and is not going to care. You can go out there with MSM. Well, I think it's good for Celsius year round, but that MSM, you got to be careful with MSM once that centipede is woken up. Some of the common ones that you can use during this time, prodiamine and simazine is something that I keep in my tank. It's a little different, but those little things that you put in your tank will separate you. And then post emergent, you can stack that Celsius, MSM, or you can even go out with what is it called? Spectacle Flow. That's another good option as well. As a pre-emergent standby
Mm-hmm.
standby solution. So that's pretty much what you're going to be looking for. And if you want a quick visual effect, you throw a little Quicksilver in there, especially if you're dealing with clients that need to see something happening within 3 days because they're impatient. You drop a little Quicksilver, won't take much, but it'll burn it down for you. So that's typically what I've been going out with for the past 2 weeks now on all my accounts.
Cool. Polo, I'm gonna toss this one to you from a cool season perspective right now. Like, let's talk about some of the weeds and everything that people are seeing. What could they have done to prevent some of them? And then, like, what are you going out with to do some cleanups right now?
So pretty much the same ordeal. You going down with a pre-emergent in the fall time is so essential. You know, I also have a video and some shorts on it as well, as far as your timing. Your timing is key if you're trying to prevent a lot of these winter weeds that you're seeing right now. You know, the poa, the chickweed, the hairy bittercress, the
Harry
henbit,
Bittercrest.
the
Yeah.
purple dead nettle. All of those things you're going to start seeing as the temperatures start to warm up a little bit. But you could have prevented those things if you would have used a pre-emergent. But since we're here in this particular stage, if you are seeing those weeds, yes, going down with a post emergent is one of the best things. What I would suggest for people to do first and foremost before they dig in their pocket and start spending money is use what you have. A lot of these three-way herbicides will be able to take care of some of these weeds. They're basic, unless you're going after
Mhm.
something like Creeping Charlie or Wild Violet, where you're going to need that extra kick. You're going to need some triclopyr or something like that. But just some of the regular little weeds that you have that you will see, some of your three ways that you can use. I mean, some of the three ways you can get it from your big box stores. They'll be able to at least, if not, uh, uh, injure them. And because I mean, the only thing you're trying to do is injure it, put it in a choke hold, and then knock it out the box before your existing grass gets to growing. So
Mhm.
that's what you really want to do, and before it gets to dropping those seeds. But some of these basic three-way herbicides will take care of it. Like one of the ones that I use a lot, and Cam, I think you use it a lot as well, is Speed Zone. So Speed Zone is like one of
Mhm.
them that you're going to it's in the name. It's going to be a knockdown quick. And about
It's fast, and
yeah,
that
yeah.
that
And
speeds up. I've sprayed in the morning, and
yeah, yeah. You seen them lean over.
by lunchtime, mid afternoon, the weeds is
Yeah,
like,
yeah. They looking like they done had a little bit too much to drink already. But yeah, man. I mean, with us being applicators, that's what the customer wants. They want to see results immediately. If you a homeowner, man, it doesn't matter if you're doing 2 or 3 applications, just as long as you get it going before that thing gets to seeding and your grass gets to growing, so that you're not dealing with any future problems. But um, speed zone is like one of the things that I would like go out with and hit some of these weeds with now. um like I said, you'll see some wild violets as well. That right there, you need some extra in the tank for that. You can do different combinations on that, but you'll start to see that as well too. Of course, once we get into April, you're gonna start seeing them wild violets. They're gonna have purple flowers on them. This is the best time to get them now. Really in the fall, before they really get to stretching their roots and getting a little bit deeper. But
mm-hmm.
it's the best time to get them, man. It's the best time before it gets hot. It's the best
Yeah,
time to get them. So that's basically what we're seeing around here in these neck of the woods.
yeah. I second everything that the fellas have said. One of the main things is if you're dealing with a warm season grass type, that fall pre-emergent is critical. Like
Hmm.
for a warm season grass type, because it makes your spring so much easier. Like it is a night and day difference. And just like when we was in the same boat with my pop's lawn, um, and getting those sprigs established, and we couldn't get that fall pre-emergent down. That following spring, man, that was rough. That was rough. And pops looked at me. He was like, "Man, son, I don't." Yeah.
What you gonna do? I don't know what to do.
it was rough. But we dropped the bomb on it. We dropped the bomb on it and got it cleaned up. Took two applications, but got it cleaned up and it was looking good. But that next year when we was able to get that fall pre-emergent now, and we went into that next spring, I mean it was smooth, dormant, just ain't like dormant grass ain't never looked that good to me until then. And then I was like, yeah, and Pops went out there and put a cut on it and got it all cleaned up, and it was just solid, just solid. I mean, you'll get your little onions and stuff and garlic that'll pop up here and there, but on 20,000 square feet, if you can go out there and hand pull a couple of weeds, or you just got like a couple of weeds here and there, like you winning, like you're winning.
You're winning.
And like from a cool season perspective, once you've got your lawn established and you're not really, and you don't have to do a fall overseeding, I really recommend trying to slide in, especially if you're dealing with some weeds and things like that just seem to recur every spring. Try to see if you can skip a overseeding or two and get that fall pre-emergent down to set that seed bank back. And then that way you can start to gain a little bit of ground if you're consistently dealing with those weeds. That's another option there. But the thing is people will say, well, I put down a pre-emergent in March, or I put a pre-emergent down in February. Like a lot of the weeds and stuff that you're about to see in the next month, they already germinated. They germinated back in September, October, November timeframe. You just hadn't seen them. They just weren't visible then. So a lot of the stuff now that if you think you got a pre-emergent out, but you're still seeing weeds, you could be dealing with a fall weed that it had already germinated and it was going to come up and you was going to see it no matter if you put a spring pre-emergent down or not, because it was already there. So just wanted to talk to some of the fall and spring type weeds, and Polo named them. Hairy bittercress, I see it. That is the one weed that I see all over the place around here is hairy bittercress. It is a fall germinating weed. If you put a pre-emergent down now, like it doesn't matter. Like it's already germinated. Like it's already there. And the other one, like Polo said, was henbit. That's another very common one that is a fall germinating weed. This spring application of pre-emergent that you're about to put down is not gonna do anything for it, because majority of it is already germinated. You just haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. So anything else on that, fellas? And then we can kind of jump to the next thing. I want to talk some products. I know y'all mentioned a couple, but anything else on that one, or y'all want to jump?
I do have one more thing. For the centipede lawns, if you're out there and you got a centipede yard, it's, especially for the beginners who in the warm season, if you woke up to a salad in your back or front yard, I was reading some studies from Clemson University, and I want you to consider foregoing your pre-emergent, especially if your stand of turf is already thin. What you're going to want to focus on is very light, moderate feeding. And when I say that, I mean for the whole season, no more than a half a pound per 1,000 square feet for the whole season. Get those weeds cleaned up with a post-emergent. You're going to have to spot treat along the way. But if you get a pre-emergent down, centipede, the way that it spreads slow, and it doesn't really have a super deep root system either. So like that prodiamine gives a clubbing effect, and it's going to really slow down its ability to thicken up. So consider skipping the pre-emergent, getting your cultural practices together, and manage the weeds as much as possible during your growing season. And then if you get a good response to you're seeing it fill in and you got good recovery, consider your pre-emergent in the fall, but reassess. That's my last little tidbit. And I'm saying that because I've been seeing that in the field actively right now. So
Okay.
You got anything, Polo?
No, we can go ahead and get to the next one.
All right.
Okay.
So from a product standpoint, we like using a lot of the professional products. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just what are the benefits of the professional products versus something that you might can run to the big box store and pick up? So what's y'all take on those type of products, on those two?
Cost.
One of my takes is yes, first and foremost the cost. A lot of the products that you're going to get at the big box stores, not saying that they don't work, but us in the professional field, we call them watered down a little bit. So that means that they're not going to have a high percentage in it, of course, because it has to be homeowner friendly. So it's going to be reasonable enough for you to be able to afford it, for one. um for two, whenever you are purchasing a professional product, you're going to have a high percentage in your active ingredients in those particular products, and it's going to cost you a lot. So you have to weigh, do you want to spend a lot of money and go out here and spray one or two times? Who knows? You may only use that herbicide a couple of times, and then it's just going to be sitting in your garage or shed for a long time. Or, do you want to just go to the big box stores and go spend something that's probably less than $25, and you're probably gonna have to make a few applications, which
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. Like I said, if you a homeowner, you just spraying your lawn, I mean, go out there, make a couple of applications and knock it out, and you
Mm-hmm.
was able to keep your money in your pocket versus you going to go listening to us, because we're going to basically be talking about a lot of professional products anyway. Instead of you going to go purchase a product that's going to be over $100 and you're going to use it a couple of times, and then it's just going to sit there for a long time, then you got to make that decision. But um if you're getting a professional product, of course, like for us, we're trying to knock it out on the first round. We're trying to get that thing gone. If
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
pull up and I'm seeing purple dead nettle and heavy bitter Chris and this and that. And hey, I'm trying to one application, boom, I'm trying to knock them things out. I'm trying to knock
Mm-hmm.
all of
Mm-hmm.
them out and be done, so that I don't have to come back. Because the one thing that me as an applicator had to look at it is, okay, my name is on this.
Mm-hmm.
It's my brand.
Comebacks cost you twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
They cost you a
And
reputation and they cost you money.
right. So
You
what
lose
what I'm looking
confidence.
at it like is, I'm like, okay, this is my brand. I told you that I'm going to knock these things out, and you're going to see some results immediately. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
about to pull up with something that I bought from Lowe's, when I'm not buying anything from Lowe's. But I'm not about to pull up with something like that. That's low concentrated. I'm going to pull up with
Mm-hmm.
something that is going to be high as far as the percentage in the active ingredient. I'm trying to knock that thing out and be gone out the way. But you a homeowner, that's not something that I would suggest. I wouldn't, unless you have the money, unless you balling, I wouldn't suggest you go out there and go buy a Velocity. You understand? That's
Okay.
what, like $600 a bottle
Yeah.
or whatever.
That's
Don't
yeah.
don't go buy Pylex. That's four or
Yeah.
$500 a bottle. Don't go buy that. Don't go
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Get something at the big box store that you can be able to afford, and it's probably going to take you a couple of applications to be able to do so, but at least you can be able to get it done. So
And I feel like the middle of the road to that polo is triclopyr and speed zone.
yeah.
Mm.
Right. I feel like that's the blend between the cost of professional products, the
Mm-hmm.
performance of professional products, but also middle of the road to the cost of the big box store products. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cuz you can do some damage with some triclopyr in a cleanup, like
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in getting rid of some weeds. If I made, like, if I had one weed control product to use to do cleanup, and that's what I could afford and be able to go get, that would probably be the one. Like that would it'd probably be triclopyr. Triclopyr, drop in some surfactant in there with it, or either a surfactant and you're in there, or some methylated seed oil to go with it. You can hit your violets, like you can hit your creeping, you can hit your creeping Charlie. Just about any other broadleaf is gonna get rid of that. Like so, yeah, like clovers, like that type of stuff. Like it may be the one middle of the road product for a cool season lawn that I would recommend if you were trying to be like, look, I got you got some tough weeds. Like a lot of times like that like those like Creeping Charlie and the Violets. A lot of times them big box store products, they just ain't got enough kick. They just ain't got enough kick for those because of the way they root the grassy or the waxy coating that's on them leaves. That triclopyr will get in there and get after them. So that's one of the things that I would recommend as a middle of the road. Hey, if you're in between the two, I think that triclopyr, and you can get triclopyr in a smaller quantity, right? There you can find it online and get it at a smaller quantity for a reasonable price, under $50.
Yeah, turf lawn ester.
Yeah,
turf lawn ester.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That'll get you there.
So what you think there on that turf?
I think you're right. And if you're going to jump out there down here in the South and you don't have centipede, some professional products that won't cost you a lot but gives you a lot of bang for your buck. I am going to circle back. Let me just look at my list right quick because I made one for you. I'm going to circle back to MSM. I mean, it's hard to beat it for the price point. Go a little, goes very far, cleans up so much. And I say, for centipede because you don't really want to be using that once it's actively growing. Centipede is a really cheap option to get a lot done. Another one, negate. Negate, you pick up some negate. That's that's gonna go a long way for you, and it's gonna be great for Poa annua. That's your cheaper route than using Celsius, because Celsius extra that'll get after that Poa too, but that stuff is expensive. That's primo product, but you could swap that out for negate, and that's a fraction of the price, and you can still get some professional like results. So if there was two that I'd say go out there and jump out there and get, and the last one, if you don't have St. Augustine, would be atrazine. Those three are readily available. With the turf lawn ester, you can go to your agri supply. If you got an agri supply, you down here in the South, or you go to like any kind of like agricultural store, you'll be
Southern
able to find that
states
stuff
or
in
something like
Southern
that.
Ag. Yeah, you'll be able to find them joints in the big jugs at a very affordable price. Just make sure you read the label and follow the labels. That's it. And you can order, if you can't find it, you can order that stuff. Most of that stuff you can get right off Amazon. Very affordable. Well, yeah, that would be the ultimate. That's what I would have as a homeowner. If I'm like, I want to level up, I already have a backpack sprayer. I'm willing to make the $300 investment. Know it's going to carry me for 2 seasons. So as long as I properly store it, those are the three that I would definitely have in my repertoire. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I wanted to add too, as far as and I don't, forgive me if I'm stepping on your toes, Cam. I don't know how.
You know how we roll. You know how we roll. It's open discussion.
If you are, because and the reason why I say this is because Turf was mentioning a bunch of products. If you are, well, I'm not gonna say if you are chickweed, hairy bittercress, wild violets, creeping Charlies. If you are going to be going to the big box stores and you are not comfortable with using any professional products, one of the ones I recommend is Ortho Weed Be
Oh
Gone.
yeah.
That one right there specifically, and it has it
Mm-hmm.
on the label as far as it goes after chickweed, it goes after
Mm-hmm.
wild violets, it goes after creeping Charlie. It's not one of them. Well, the one I'm talking about is the one that you have to mix, so you have to have you a 2 gallon pump sprayer or a 4 gallon backpack sprayer, either or. But that one there, for a low cost is something that you can be able to purchase, and you can use that to be able to go after some specific weeds. So
Yeah. And Speed Zone Southern is, I don't even think, I think they just changed the label. I think it's the exact same active ingredients. I remember I was talking about that. But Speed Zone is another go getter down here in the South. Maybe they moved one of the
It's
products out.
they
One of the
did
active.
it is slightly different formulation because I think they
Yeah.
pull out some of the 2,4-D because of the application on Bermuda
Bermuda. Yeah.
on Bermuda, the impacts of
Yeah.
that. So I
Yeah.
think they cut back on
And
the
that's, yeah, that 2,4-D is ester too. So yeah, that would
yeah
really hurt.
yeah
Bermuda.
yeah yeah.
Yeah, that's that
So
ester
they
base. Yeah, that would
pulled back.
crush
I
it.
think the last time I remember looking at the label because I was comparing it, and I think that's one of the differences is that they pulled back on that 2,4-D.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So Polo, you actually hit exactly what I was going to ask. So appreciate that. What I was going to say is, what if you do have to go to the big box store? What would be one that you would recommend? And that was it. And I knew that was going to be the one
Yeah.
that
There's another
we
one
would
too.
agree on.
There's another one that Will used to use all the time.
You talking
Chips
about
and guac.
image?
Image.
Image.
warm season,
Image.
yes.
Image. Yeah.
I've seen really good
Image
performance.
is a secret weapon.
Image is a good image is legit too. Image is
Yeah.
image is
So I
actually
got y'all list.
almost image is almost equivalent to some of what you can get in the as far as concentration as some of the ones that you can actually get in some of the 3-ways. Like is
Okay.
almost concentration wise equivalent to
Yeah.
some of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I got y'all big box products right there. You know, you got your Speed Zone, Image, Ortho Be Gone. Between those three and Turfline Ester, if you're not getting it done, you should probably just hire one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the first time we're all on the screen and licensed. That's dope.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's the first. This is the first time we're all licensed and out here doing our thing. That deserves a round of applause.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know,
I'm gonna go ahead and hit you with the 3 times for the team.
Yeah, 3
We
times for the team.
we is in there. We is in there.
Okay.
So
Spectracide weed stopped and knocked everything. Yeah, I heard Spectracide is pretty good too.
Yeah. So now that we've kind of covered that, and one of the things that we've all united front said spraying. What about the weed and feed, right? What about the fact of any granular type herbicides or anything like that? What's the take on that? And say you do go out and use one, what's the proper application method for you to actually get the best results that you can out of
it? So don't mow your grass 2 days before, or don't mow your grass right before you apply it. Right. If you do cut your grass, you're going to want to wait 2-3 days before you do it. And the step that almost everyone misses when they're using these weeding feeds is that you need to apply it to semi-damp conditions on the grass. So that stuff that they have in there has a way to stick onto the leaf blades, that active ingredient they have in there. And then again, do not cut your grass for another 2 days. That's how you're going to get the best results with the weed and feed. I'm not a fan of it, and we already know why. But that's the way that you're going to want to use those weed. That's where people, most homeowners, they get out there, they cut the grass low, then they apply it to dry grass and water it in or something because you're worried about the fertilizer, and then you're like, dang, these weeds just growing stronger.
Yeah, they ain't
Yeah,
do
because you just
nothing.
fed them slim, right? You just fed them slim. So, or they cut the grass first, and just those are common mistakes. Slow down, read the label. Slow down and read the label. Mm-hmm.
I just put a link in there where I did a video on this was last year, and it was on the weed and feed. It was on the Scott's weed and feed, and
Mm-hmm.
basically everything that I second everything that Turf said because that's what I was talking about in that video. But um, I am with Turf also. I would say if you are serious about getting rid of your weeds, don't use no weed and feed, man. Go out there and go spray because there's so much that's going to be left on the table when you do that because like he said, you do have to have your grass damp, or you're getting out there early in the morning when it's dew on the grass,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great time to do it. You got to take into consideration you have to put down a lot of that, and when you're putting that down, you got to remember this is a homogenized prill. It also is going to have a fertilizer in this as well. So if you're trying to throw down a whole bunch because you want to take care of that weeds, you got to remember you putting down the fertilizer too, Jack. And
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be working against yourself, and you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt when you're getting out there cutting your grass almost 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now that may be able to work for you if you got Bermuda grass. If you down there in warm season country, yeah, you Gucci. Get out there and go do what you got to do, but you got tall fescue, you got kids, you got 9 to 5. You come home, you looking at your grass is like this, and
Yeah.
then when you get done, and then
You
when you
cutting
get
that
done,
joker 4 times a week. You cutting it every other day.
2 days later, it's like this, and you be like, man, you're gonna think twice about using that weed and feed. Now, that's
Mm-hmm.
more of like an easy button for a lot of people who don't have a lot of knowledge in it. As far as okay, man, look, go use your weed and feed. If you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
deal with any of the chemicals and the mixing and doing all that, the spot spraying, the blanket spraying, yeah, use your little weed and feed. It's gonna take you a little bit. You just now itching in. But if you've been following the We Working crew for a long time, man, this is probably one of the only times we didn't talked about weed and feeds, man. Because you ain't that's not something that we sit up here and tell you to do. Use a weed and feed. Don't do it. But if you're new to the game, yes, you can go ahead and use that. But that's not something that I would advocate for. I would just want you to just go find the weed, spot spray it, or if you got weeds everywhere, do a blanket spray, knock them things out the park, man.
So, if all right, just a second question to follow up on that. Say they are new. Say they are getting ready to use that weed and feed. They trying to get their feet wet. When would be the time and to apply weed and feed, and when would not be the time to apply weed and feed?
Um, well, like Turf was saying, you want to make sure that your grass is damp. Um, I would say depends on your work schedule. I would rather do it in the morning. I wouldn't do it in the heat of the day. I wouldn't do it when it's too hot. Because you can do some damage to your existing grass, and you're trying to sit up there and take care of the weeds. You don't want to have that reverse effect, and you're brand new. You're not going to know what to do to your lawn to make your lawn recover if you burn it out. So I would just say if you're going to use it, um, using it early in the morning. If you can't use it early in the morning, use it later on in the day when the sun is kind of gone down a little bit, depending on what the temperature is. But
What about seasonal? What about from a seasonal perspective? When would you, from a seasonal perspective, when would you use when could they use a weed and feed, and when shouldn't they use a weed and feed?
use it in the spring. You can use it in the fall. Definitely do not use it in the summertime. Don't do that, because really, to be honest, a lot of your summer weeds, the active ingredients that's in that weed and feed is not even going to take care of it anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of you all are going to see crabgrass. That weed and feed is not going to do anything to crabgrass at all. You're just putting it down, and you're wasting the product at that time. But in the springtime, for the weeds that you're going to see, the dandelions, the clovers, you're going to see some of these typical spring weeds. Yes, go ahead and use it. If you are a new person to this, use it in the spring, so you can go ahead and clean up some of those weeds before you go into the summertime.
Yep. Yep. That's the key piece of information right there, y'all. That weed and feed is not a summertime application. Right. That is one of those, you get it down in the spring or the fall when temps are cooler. You do not go out there during those warmer, hot temperatures with a weed and feed. You got something?
I'm gonna take it a step further. Yeah, I'm gonna take it a step further. If you're a warm season lawn, the only time I would even entertain using weed and feed would be the spring. If you are a cool season lawn, the only time I would entertain using it would be the fall, and it would be for the same reasons we already mentioned. You dropping weed and feed, and the amount that you have to use in a cool season yard is going to push unnecessary growth coming into a springtime weather
Yep.
where you got your disease triangle that's coming together, and
Yep.
you're setting yourself up for failure, stumbling block. Because if you have to put that much out there, you're going to be playing, you're always going to be behind. Whereas at warm season, we're waking our grass up anyway. Just don't go out too early, because you don't want to, especially with like centipede, you're not trying to push growth when it's too soon for that.
That early.
You want your soil temps to be around 60, 65 degrees if you're going to go out with a weed and feed. And then on the flip of that, with the cool season grass, I'm going to use it in the fall, because guess what? I'm pushing growth anyway in the fall. So it's much safer for me to use it in that window where I would be looking to do a renovation, but I'm not doing the renovation, and I don't need to do a overseed. I just need to clean up the weeds, push the growth, mow it a whole bunch, and thicken it up. That's I would take it that step further. And then also, I dropped a link in here. If you don't got your bag of FeNiX, go get it while it lasts. The link's right there for you. Go get you a bag of FeNiX while it lasts. We got something else coming for you too.
And also, that weed and feed, you only want to use that a couple of times a year anyway.
Yeah.
You only use it a couple of times a year. So don't make that your primary source to getting rid of your weeds. You need to get something that you can be able to spray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like so one of the things we're trying to do, we're trying to address a lot of the people that we're early season. We got a lot of new people that may be entering the lawn. So we're trying to cater to all skill levels at this point. But as you've heard, one of the things we're trying to work you towards is having more control of what you're applying and getting better results without using a lot more product, right? You step into like those professional weed and feed or those professional spray type products, you actually use a lot less product than what you do in like a weed and feed or some of those big box store type products, because of the concentration that's in them. So you can also then be able to spot spray, be able to address without having to do full broadcast applications, which overall is just better for the environment, which is better overall. You don't have to spray your entire lawn and do things like that. So, yeah, I see. I just saw those questions out there.
Yeah, we get the 10-minute time hack, y'all. So, if you got questions and you in the back of the class, go ahead and drop it. It's no stupid questions. I promise you.
Yeah.
No stupid questions. Get them in there so we can answer you before we go.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of, I think I saw Tony had dropped a question in there about storage of his seed over winter. I'm gonna be honest. I keep my seed in the bag that it comes in my garage, off the floor, like on a shelf.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
is how I store mine. My garage stays. It doesn't get cold. It stays probably at its lowest. Maybe it gets to 40. Maybe. I doubt it even gets that cold. But the key is I just keep it stays cool, stays dry, and off of the floor. Is how I store mine. A lot of times I really don't like to store my seed in a sealed container in case if it like starts to condensate on the inside of the container or anything like that, and you might get moisture or something inside of the container. So if I was gonna put it in a container, I'd put it in one of like those big totes or something like that. I wouldn't really put it in like a 5 gallon bucket. I'd probably put it in like one of those bigger totes that doesn't really seal all the way up, but it would keep like rodents or anything like that from being able to get in it.
So
And
does
I
Tony
can
have a
I
cool
can.
season on?
Who was that?
Yeah,
Tony, he does.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I about to say I can attest to that too because I had used, oh my goodness, man. I had in my storage area, I had I want to say maybe it was 10 pounds of seed, but it was the GCI turf seed. Now, that seed has been sitting there for I want to say a few years, because we've been rocking with that elevated line mix. So it's been sitting there for a few years. But basically, what I had to do is I had like a little strip that I had to like finish up with. Man, I put that thing down and it came up beautifully, and it and
Mm.
it and it looks great too.
I talked to
But
Pete today.
it it basically was in the same condition of how Cam was explaining. I had it was still in the 50-pound bag. I had it twisted up, tied up, and I had it sitting on the shelf. It was, fine. And I put it down and everything came up. So um, several ways you can be able to store it, but that's how we do it. And mine came up wonderful
Yeah,
because if
I ain't
it,
had no issue. I ain't had no issues with seed from like years. Like you said, like years. People like
mhm.
ask that question too, like how long a seed good? Man, I've had seed and I heard Pete talk about it. He was like, man, this stuff been sitting on my shelf for at least
Man,
10 years. For at least
as
10
long as it's
years.
dry, it's
Yeah.
good.
I ain't had none that long, but I've had some that's probably four, 4-ish year, at least 4 years old, and came up just fine. Um, we got this one here. A limited time to fertilize. Will snow Monday hurt results?
What?
Will
I,
snow
my
Monday.
brain
You getting
froze.
snow on Monday?
Well, if you're getting snow, brother, don't fertilize. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah,
It's too soon. It's too soon. Don't fertilize. Don't do that. Your cool season lawn. You're still getting snow. Your soil temps probably aren't even 55
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah.
Don't fertilize. Keep that in the bag. And Tony, I said something to Tony, but I meant to say it to Slam 410. If you hit me up on IG, I'll help you out with that T-Nex, and then you go get you some new. And that's only if you're because I thought you were for some reason. I'm tired, y'all. We all tired up here. I don't know if y'all can see it in our face, but we tired. But we here for you, Slam. If you have a cool season yard, yes, you should have went with a new. And hit me up on IG. It's Turf Therapy on IG. I'll help you out with the T Nex, and that way you can go get you some a new. So yeah, if you're
yeah,
interested, just hit me up. We can talk about it.
yeah,
But yeah, don't fertilize. I hope you didn't put the fertilizer down already. If you did, it's done. Mistakes
Yeah.
happen. You know what I mean? Somebody
And it's
probably
and it's
told you
like
to do that.
and it's like, for example, up here, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, we received some snow early this morning, but next week it's going to be rain. rain, 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 and we don't know if this is going to be rain where it's going to flood, or but you got to take into consideration, depending on what you put down, man, there's a potential that can get washed away, because depending on what your soil temperatures are, your ground is probably still hard, man. So go off of your soil temperatures. Go off of your soil temperatures. And once you start to see things kind of green up a little bit, then and your soil temperature is about right, then you can go ahead and do some fertilization. But don't rush it right now. Unless you just, now I ain't even gonna say unless you got fertilizer you want to waste. Don't do that, because I ain't gonna tell them where that stuff gonna wash to. So
Yep.
don't,
Facts.
yeah,
Yep.
just
So yeah,
yeah.
you kind of flowing right into the last question that well, not the last, but the next question that we got is for cool season grass, when to put down your first app of nitrogen. Again, that's going to depend on your location. But what I will say is, if you haven't got at least 2 to 3 mows on it, in my opinion, if you ain't cutting it yet, it ain't time to put our fertilizer down. Like that's a simple rule of thumb. If you're not out there cutting it yet, it's not time to be putting down fertilizer, because fertilizer is not gonna wake the lawn up. I know we hear this all the time. It's time to wake the lawn up, and we're gonna put this application down to wake the lawn up. The fertilizer is not gonna wake the lawn up. The soil temperatures is what's gonna wake the lawn up. So if
Chicago.
the lawn is not actively growing, it is not going to uptake the nutrients that you're putting down. So there's no point of putting those nutrients down if it's not going to take it up. Now you're just increasing environmental risk and all of those things which are unnecessary. So if you're in Chicago,
You probably looking at Mother's Day. Start getting anxious around Mother's Day. That's what I would
you
say.
you
And
you in
and I doubled
Chicago,
down on
man.
what Cam said, and I kind of left you some like, hey, you're looking for soil temps 55 degrees, steady soil temps, and that actively growing. The way that you verify that actively growing is the maturity modes that Cam is talking about.
mm-hmm.
If you're cutting and you're seeing new growth, and you do that 2 or 3 times, and the weather looks prominent, right around Mother's Day is when you're looking at, okay, Mother's Day or Memorial Day. It might be close to Memorial Day for you being in Chicago, man. I've been up there. That wind cut hard. So
Yeah, it depends on what type of
it depends.
it depends on what type of spring and stuff they get. I don't really know
Yeah.
Chicago weather when they really get going up there like that. Memorial
Well,
Day
right
and
right
Mother's
now
Day just
they're
seem like a long ways away to me from a
yeah.
Yeah.
conceptual. It just seems,
Right now,
but
their
But
soil
they
temperatures
cold,
in
man.
Chicago is
Yeah, let me
is
look
is
up their solar
32.
temps right now.
It's
It's
32.
32?
It's
Yeah.
32.
So and let me
So
pull
you're,
it. And when does it get to 50? Slide the
oh, I
little
had to
joint and
look.
see when it gets to 50.
I had to
probably
look. Probably in a
probably
couple of
mi-
months,
probably
I
mid
bet I
April,
bet
probably
it's
bro.
I
mid
bet it's
April,
closer to Mother's Day.
end of end of
I
April.
bet I bet it's closer to Mother's Day. Double down on that. I bet the 5 year average is closer to Mother's Day. 10 year average,
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
All right,
Grassy
what?
question. I tried to see if you were overseeding common Bermuda or hybrid. So the first thing you want to do, take a sample of that, go to your local extension office. Find out whether you have common Bermuda, a hybrid Bermuda. If you have common Bermuda, you just go out with some more common Bermuda. If you don't care about it looking very different, you can go out with hybrid. If you're gonna go with hybrid Bermuda, I would go with the Rio seed from Mountain View Seed, but that's not the actual farm it comes from. But you type in Rio Bermuda grass seed, they they champion themselves on germinating fast, and you're gonna get a nice hybrid look. It is expensive. I think it's like $40 for a 2 pound bag, but you need like 2 to 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So really, it's about the same amount as cool season grass when you get in the 50 pound bags. But that's what you're going to be looking for. But I would just to make sure your yard is uniform, take a sample of it to the extension office, figure out what kind of Bermuda you have, and then go from there.
So I would say,
oh, it's in April. Okay, Cam was right. You got it. Cool. Yeah, Big Red said end of April. Yeah, you go to soil cast. I'm gonna drop that in here. That tool in here, the soil cast, soil temp tool thing for everyone in the chat. That's how you can get a green cast. That's what it is.
So
get an easy way of seeing what your stuff looks like.
Yeah, on the overseeding, my perspective is why
just push it.
Yeah,
sometimes there's big enough gaps. You know what I mean? Like I was looking at a yard today, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to get some seed into this, you know. And then I was like, I don't really have to, but I understand why you might feel like you need to help it out, especially if it's thinned out tremendously, or you're just trying to bring a new cultivar into the mix. But yes, you're right, Cam. You could just push it, just drop bombs on that joint.
Yeah. Just feed it and cut it.
4 or 5 pounds.
Feed it and cut it.
4 or 5 pounds of nitrogen on that thing, and keep up with your mowing.
Yeah,
and she gonna spread.
Feed it and cut it. Like it's and then too, like if you've got thin areas in your Bermuda, why do you have thin areas in your Bermuda? Right? Are you trying to grow Bermuda in areas of that's not conducive for Bermuda to grow in? Do you got heavy shade? Do you really need to get rid of some of the shade, which is why your Bermuda is not growing and your Bermuda is thin? Even if you overseed it at that point, you're still going to end up in the same boat because the Bermuda is not in the condition to grow to its full potential. So at that point, when I look at Bermuda and people say overseeding Bermuda or wanting to thicken up Bermuda, my first thing is, why is the Bermuda thin and why do you need to overseed it? Because if you address those things, typically the Bermuda itself, and as we know, we've all done sprigging. Well, Turf, you and I we've sprigged and plugged Bermuda.
Polo was there in spirit. He done did this. Because I be in here with the camera like, yo, Polo, he'd be like, hey, you missed a spot, Turf. Oh, my bad. So Turf, we gonna go ahead and give him the honorary spring.
Yeah.
Too. You know
so we've seen how much Bermuda spreads and grows in and fills in a very short period of time. So if Bermuda is not filling in, typically there's a reason why Bermuda is not filling in. It's either underfed or it's not in the right conditions.
And if you still want to overseed, do those steps that I said first.
Yeah.
And then
if you still feel the need. Yes.
Yeah.
I had a really quick. I had a person's lawn. I still do take care of her lawn, but right where her mailbox is, between the sidewalk and the house, it was a lot of weeds there, and I don't know if it was Poa annual or anything, but I ended up getting rid of those weeds, and it was bare spots, but it was Bermuda grass there, and what she had asked was the same thing. She was like, do I need to put some more seed down? I was like, nah, man, what we're going to do is we just going to feed it. We're going to feed it. Are you going to be okay? Yeah, we're going to feed it. Well, it was maybe a month and a half or probably 2 months later that had almost filled in. And it was maybe like 4 foot space. It was already crawling, but it hadn't filled in yet. And the only thing I did was just stay up on it as far as pounding it with fertilizer. And it ended up filling in. Now, if it was something different where it was like in a shaded area and maybe it was next to a landscaping bed, then it would have been something that I would have suggested as far as maybe extending that landscaping bed in that shaded area, because the Bermuda grass isn't going to grow there. But that wasn't the situation. But yeah, he said it right on the bat, man. Feed that joint, man. Just feed it. Try that before you seed and feed it.
I literally had a client today that was in similar conditions. Their front yard is fine, but their backyard isn't. And part of the proposal I gave is a phased approach. And I was like, listen, the first thing we can do is extend these garden beds. That was literally what I said to him. We can extend the garden beds. If you don't want to extend the garden beds, we can try to seed it Just know seeding zoysia in these conditions, it might be a whole season before it looks the way you want it to look. Or we can plug it or sod it. If we can reassess down the road. I'm doing split apps. We'll be open in June to get some more down. So yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you.
Yeah. We're
Somebody
going
asked a question about top dressing. That we got two more questions. We're gonna get these questions
we're
in.
gonna
I
knock
think you was
these.
about to
Yeah, we
say,
got I
yeah.
think we got 3 left to go.
Yeah, and I'm finding the video because I got a good video on that topsoil question while you working
All right.
on what
Yeah,
was the
go
topsoil
ahead.
one first? Yeah.
You
So
can
I got a good video on like I'm about to drop them in the chat. Sanding versus using soil. You could use either one, right? But the thing is, if you use topsoil is an organic material, so you are going to lose some of that placement. So the only way that I really go topsoil if I need to like fill in if pure topsoil, like if I have like more than 4 inches that I'm trying to raise something up, and then from there, I would recommend you doing a blend. A blend is going to give you the best of both worlds. That sand is going to seek its true level naturally on its own with the water, and in the soil, of course, you're introducing some organic matter, some material into your lawn, so that's good as well. So that's my take on that. And I'm gonna drop this video on me using soil and kind of talking about it, and then I'll drop another video of you seeing me using sand and see how much different the end product is when you do that. That's all I got.
All right, cool. Got that one knocked out of the way. I think you had another one, DGX. How many times should you dethatch your lawn? Polo, you want to get after that one?
I only say my thing is I only do it if it's needed.
Yep.
I don't be doing a whole bunch of dethatching. Some people dethatch multiple times a year. I don't do that, man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it all the way a buck with you. If it needs to be dethatched, I'll hit it one good time, but that's pretty much about it. For example, I have a video on when I did my test plot. I dethatched it really good one good time. That was about like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is still fine. Everything comes up fine. It looks healthy. It doesn't look stressed. It looks great. That was
Yeah.
and I cut mine with the commercial mower, so I'm side discharging it. Everything looks fine.
Yep.
So I mean that's up to you, but man, hit it one good time. Man. Oh my bad, y'all.
If you step on the yard and it feels like a sponge, you probably need to dethatch. If you step on your yard and it feels like you're making contact with ground, you probably don't need to dethatch. From there, you're just thinning things out. Maybe you're trying to thin it out and on purpose because you put too much seed down. You went crazy with the seed, so now you need to. Sure, for that reason, but yeah,
Yep.
good cultural practices. You might have to do it one time if you inherited a lawn that was already to that point. But if you maintain it properly moving forward, you shouldn't need anything
Yeah.
else.
No.
Well, you shouldn't need it for some time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It shouldn't be. And even the way that I use detaching, a lot of times when, as Turf said, opening it up, like I will use a light detach before my overseed if I need to in my lawn, and that's how I open up that canopy. Is a real light, and when I say a light, I mean I'm in and out that joint quick.
Mhm.
Whole 4,000 square feet done in like 15, 20 minutes just
Mhm.
to really spread the canopy open a little bit more, pull a little bit of that debris up. I mean,
Mhm.
last year I pulled enough out to fill one trash can, like, and that was it because my seed rate is good. Don't have a lot of die off. Don't have a lot of that. All it is just to run it through, just to open that canopy up so that seed can fall in there, hit the soil, and and keep it moving. But dethatching, man, properly managed lawns does not need to be dethatched. Home lawns does not
Oh
need to
my.
be dethatched multiple times in a year,
Mhm.
in a season. Um, got that one done. That was done. Uh, okay, Calvin on the question in Maryland. Next opportunity is mid May. Just fertilize mid May.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be fine. You'll be just on the other side of the spring flush. It'll probably be ready for some fertilizer, getting ready to go into the summertime. Perfect time to fertilize.
Hit it with some FeNiX, man.
Turf, you on mute.
For my for my cool season fam, don't come out the gate dropping a pound of fertilizer. Go
No,
quarter pound or a half a pound if you can. You'll thank me later.
that's
Yeah.
why you get the FeNiX. That's why you get the FeNiX.
That's
It's
why you get
easy
the
for you to
FeNiX.
measure.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
easy for
easy
you to
for you to
measure.
measure. The link's right there for you.
Frequency. Extension office.
Extension
I'd say
office.
extension office or either another reputable soil testing lab like uh, Spectrum Analytic, Logan Labs. Um, yeah, the as far as frequency, licensed fertilizer applicators, they're once every 3 years, and honestly, unless you just want to know the numbers, I don't see a reason why you need to do it any more often than that. I'd say if you're new to your lawn, you don't know anything about it, don't know what you're working with, I'd say get your baseline. Not that you need to use it for your fertilizer plan, but you need to get your baseline and understand what you're working with, and then from there, I, it's not going to change that much. Like, and I don't care how much fertilizer you put down. I I've monitored mine for probably 4 years every year, and it wasn't a whole lot of change. And I don't think I've tested it in the past 2 years. Like, so I'll probably get out there and do one this year, but it hasn't been a whole lot of movement over the past 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
Sheedmatic.
what a pre-emergent.
Yep.
Stay on your
And
property line. Stay on your property line. I
no,
have
I was about
a
to tell you the exact opposite.
I didn't
Way to
mean
bless
to.
them. Way to bless them a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
no
Get
what
a little, bless
now
them a little
now
bit. Create a little
Little
barrier. You know?
overspray, little
Yeah,
over.
there's a little overlap. One good
now,
sometimes. You know
now
what I'm saying?
look
They
now
don't care
look
about it
Hey,
anyway.
look
give me a little,
You know
give me a
what
little
I'm
bit of
saying?
space. I need.
Yeah, a little bit of space, but that pre-immersion is your first line of defense. Your own cultural practices is your second line of defense, and that third line of defense is that second line that you sprayed a little bit extra. That little extra, you just
oh,
throw
oh,
it over there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
hey, I have to explain it to you from an applicator's perspective. And the reason why
Okay.
I say
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's different from
stay
you and
on
me. I'm
your
staying
property
on the
line.
line.
Yeah, you guys stay on your property line because you don't want to be spraying something on someone else's property line without their permission. Now, if they
Mm-hmm.
know, which most homeowners, if they have a buttload of weeds and you're sitting up and saying, "Hey, man, look, you got weeds right here, man. I'm just. Do you mind if I can just hit a couple of stripes over here?" They're gonna be like, "Yeah, this as long as you ain't killing their grass." But that's coming from an applicator standpoint. But as far as for a homeowner, man, just itch over to the left, just a little bit, just
That's
a little bit. But like Cam said, pre-emergent, and then make sure that you are even doing your herbicide, depending on whatever type of weeds that you have, in your post-emergent, going straight down. That's
Hmm.
how you can be able to keep them out. But
mm,
pre-emergent, most important in the
That's the most.
springtime
That's it.
in
Yeah.
fall time. That's the most important because if they have weeds and then they're turning their mower and they're shooting their grass into your grass, those seeds are gonna get in your lawn, man.
Hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
you got to make sure that you have some type of barrier, you know what I'm saying, where you're protecting your grass. You got to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you all the way straight. Otherwise, y'all gonna be flip flopping weeds all over the place, man. Y'all gonna be sharing this. So hey.
And from a pro standpoint, it looks really good when the other
When
neighbors,
it's a
there's
line.
like a line.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're like, your
yeah.
client knows what they paid for. They're like,
Bro,
you see your neighbor's yard?
like this what you
See,
get.
hey,
This what you.
don't look right now. They looking over there, but look, you see
This
that,
what you
right?
paying for. This what you paying for.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. All right. I think we all the way. I think we last one recommend aerating twice a year. No,
No,
Don't do it. Yeah, you
no.
probably don't even do it once a year.
I
If
haven't
you
done it
actually
in
have trees
3.
to
I haven't
collection.
done it in 3 years.
I got a whole video that I think one of them videos I dropped said skip aerating and get these results.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got a whole video that says the exact same thing. I really have not. I have not aerated my lawn in. Was last year 4 years or 3 years? It's either 3 or 4 years. It's either 3 or 4 years.
I think it's 3, Cal.
Yeah,
Because I know, yeah, I think it's 3. Because it
yeah.
was my second year in Germany. I've been back. Oh shoot, how long have I been back? Oh, I've been back for. It's been 4 years. I've been back for 2 years. Yeah, it's
So
been 4 years.
it might be
This is your
for
4th year. In this fall will
now
be the
this
4th time.
this season will
Yeah.
make the
Yeah.
the 4th year that I haven't. Yeah. So
Mhm.
no aeration at all.
Yeah.
Haven't aerated it. Stuff is growing amazing, great. Everything. Seed still comes up. If I do a light overseed, all of that. Like it aeration is really for compacted soils that get a lot of foot traffic and a lot. I mean, it really needs it. I don't think it is necessary for the average homeowners. I really don't, especially if you got proper cultural practices and maintenance on it. What I do like aeration for, if I have no other choice, like as from a pro perspective, a lot of people don't want the get the lawn dethatched. The price of, hey, I just need to thin this out, like and it's gonna be a bill. It's gonna be a bill to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, I don't want to front that. I can get seed up with aeration. Now I've created a little bit of space in there that now I can get seed up that they need some newer cultivars in it. So from a pro perspective, I get it. I would 100% get it. But if I'm maintaining my own lawn as a homeowner, and as I'm a pro maintaining my own home lawn, and I haven't aerated in coming up on 4 years.
Yeah, and everything looks beautiful too.
Yeah.
So
that's a prime example. You don't have to. People, please, if you all get a chance, when you get a chance, no, just make sure that you make a chance. Go look at these videos that are being dropped in these in this chat. Go look at these videos. There's some very helpful information on you not even aerating and having a beautiful lawn, because it's not necessary. Information on the weed and feed video. Go look at these videos, you all, because it's a lot of gems that is in this video that you're gonna get that you probably won't get on this live stream, because we already went over the time. So check these out and make sure that you all still support the We Working crew, man. Go, check out their check that out.
And if you learned anything tonight, or if you just had a good time, do us a favor, share it out, send it to somebody it might help, because that's what we're here to do, to help you. We're definitely not doing it for our smash that like button, share it out, send it to your cousin, you know what I mean? We're not doing it because we don't like sleeping. I promise you that. We do this. We do this because we actually care about y'all, and we're trying to help you, and we're passionate about it. You know what I mean? We like to do it. So
yeah, and it's all information to help benefit the community. It costs you nothing for the things that the fellas just requested. Cost you nothing. Cost you nothing at all. But if you do want to contribute and you do want to go spend some dollars, Turf already dropped the link for the FeNiX. FeNiX is a fertilizer that the We Working crew has put out there that has been proven out for a full season. There's a number of people in here that I know that have already bought it. and have used it all last season and have loved the results from it. We love it. We brought the product to the market for that reason, for people to be able to utilize it and get some of the benefits of a fertilizer that we feel is appropriate to get them the results that they're looking for. And on top of that, if you're looking for the seed, that Elm Street Elite, it'll be down in the description. You can check out that good Elm Street Elite seed. You can see it all season. You've been seeing it for the past 5 years in my backyard and all of my clients also. So that is the seed that you are looking at when you look at my lawn. So we appreciate y'all for joining. We gave y'all 22 extra minutes, and we're going to get ready to dip on up out of here. And as we always say, just know we working, good people.
Working. Salute. Good night, y'all. Good night.